name is Angela, and my goal in my role at the Fourth Plain Community Commons Kitchen is to oversee the upscaling of businesses, small catering and food trucks alike. I provide a space for them to be able to produce in mass quantity for their businesses and hopefully help them gain some independence also as vendors. And yeah. So, of course, having access to this level and this grade of equipment is definitely a plus for a lot of folks who may have not had exposure or an opportunity to be able to have access to this type of equipment for their business. Again, production is very important in business, and the more you can produce, the more funds you can earn. And so that's the goal, is to make sure that people are actually earning the living and making the money that they want to make as an entrepreneur. So having that vision for clients who are coming in and folks who wanted to become members of the kitchen, I was inspired to create a scholarship in support of them being able to obtain those licensings and certifications and permits, however their business is structured, that they need to actually be able to go out and work in the public and sell their food to the public and get a little more exposure, possibly gain some more clientele, hosting private events. It'll grow out vending opportunities for them as well, to be able to partner with some bigger businesses and organizations where they can really make a profit. Right, so in the business world, time is money. And with inflation, rising costs for rent, and just the overall expenses of living, folks who are transitioning from an employee to entrepreneurship, or trying to just grow their business out so they can quit their day job, having that time to be able to fill out the papers and go online and research whatever certifications that they might need in other education parts and pieces of the business so that they can be successful in the industry, is really hard because it takes away from their normal day-to-day activities. A lot of folks have families and have family-ran businesses, and so they would need to incorporate other family members to help them with TA and paperwork, and sometimes transportation. There's language barriers. There's lots of things that can prevent them from, really evolving in a systematically oppressed environment. And these communities of folks who have been historically underserved have to pretty much gain trust in the processes that would get them stable. So going through the Clark County food permitting and completing all those tasks so that they don't run risk of being violated or having fines, which also is a grave expense when you're a small business to have those things happen. Maybe some of the more established businesses or restaurant chains can afford $600 and $700 fines, but as a small business, those are the kind of fears that folks will run into. I should say when looking to kind of grow. They think that exposure, sometimes will expose their flaws instead of the good things about their business that can help them become more successful. So making sure that people feel secure in the process and showing them how it can benefit them and how their business can still succeed under those guidelines. That takes a lot of time, and we want to make sure that people have a good knowledge and understanding, are well versed on the process. And so again, making sure that they have time to be able to have access to that information and participate in possible workshops and other things that can help them support that learning that's necessary, very necessary. That's basically what it is, making sure that everyone has access. And a lot of times folks don't know about resources because they're not sure what they actually need. So being given that outline, maybe even just an example of a business who's done it before, they can come into the kitchen and see that with some of the more established businesses, watch how they operate, check out things like scheduling, employee, retention, hiring people to help them. A lot of people come in as a one-person show, or it'll be two people, and they think they can handle the volume of work that comes with the food business, and then realizing, okay, maybe I do need to outsource some help, maybe I do need to bring in some other people, and then having the responsibility of overseeing that process as well. Because here you are coming from being an employee to an employer, and that can be scary, for some people too. So we want to make sure that they understand all the steps properly so that they can then pass on that information to other people who are coming in to help support them. Basically, they're employees, yeah. So many dreams, right? So simultaneously with that scholarship, I did realize there were a lot of people who wanted to just serve as a business as well, so being in community service. And so I created a section of the pantry that I call the community cage, where we take in donations from organizations to support supplies for cooks. So dry food supplies, some fresh stuff also. We're looking forward to having, we have a relationship with Heritage Farm, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of the growers from that farm and also be able to help support them, as they support us. We're doing some work also with a few other organizations to help folks that are transitioning from houselessness, giving them some basic kitchen skills and giving them some exposure to different recipes, nutritional services, and workshops. Wanting to also contribute to food access for young folks during the summertime and those times of the school year. They're only going to school for 180 days. So those other days of the school year where they may not have access to food, with sometimes the school being their only provider of a meal or a resource to their parents. So I'm looking to do that, feeding some kids out of the kitchen for the summer and making sure that we prioritize that routinely. I guess you can say we're providing support as well for some of the other local organizations who are looking to feed houseless folks. I am in the process of establishing relationships with professionals who can cater to dietary restrictions for the different demographics of that population, some senior citizens, some disabled people. And there's just a plethora of things that would really need to be focused on, addressed, and prioritized for it to be what it's supposed to be. I'm wanting to make sure that people have exactly the care that they need as far as it relates to nutrition when we use this kitchen for those services. So getting the right people in here that know what they're doing and that can show and help and train and expose other people to some of that information as well, because the education piece is a really big part of empowering those people. So if we can teach them, then they can learn, and then they can know, and then that's how people become self-sufficient and can really benefit from what's going to happen out of this kitchen, and hopefully retain that information and be able to pass it on, so we can eliminate that problem. So as far as the kitchen, the goal that I have is for the kitchen to remain pretty much a dominant force in the way that we provide resource for the community, meaning that it encompasses all things, right? So you have an opportunity to be in business. So you have an opportunity to earn money. You have an opportunity to create workshops and help folks establish skills. And that's also a resource. It also has the ability to bring people together. So lots of networking opportunities for businesses who may not have exposure to other businesses who are, standalone or operating on a smaller scale, to be able to partner and see, kind of some folks who have some real skin in the game, so to speak. It also creates an opportunity for trust to be reestablished in our food systems in our community, because we have come up against so many issues as far as nutrition is concerned, with foods being, packed with preservatives, and just the quality of the food that's being provided for these particular communities to be upscaled. So more access to fresh foods, and then also having an understanding of the ones that are culturally appropriate and how to prepare them. So again, that education piece. So there's a lot that can be learned in this kitchen. There's a lot that can be produced out of this kitchen. And so my goal is to keep it relevant and in real time for people to understand it's a resource that can be utilized, throughout their lives. It's a huge component, right?